Hey guys, welcome to my Minnie Van at Disney World video. I am answering the top 10 questions that I get asked about a Minnie Van with a baby or toddler ride. So wanted to get those answered, and if you are jumping around and needing to have specific questions answered, I will have them timestamped in the description box below for you to check out and answer whatever questions are on your mind most before you book a Minnie Van. Now also, if you would hit the thumbs up button while you're down there, go ahead and hit it. That would really help to support the channel, as well as if you love tips, tricks, and hacks to taking a toddler to Disney, traveling with a baby, and Disney vlog adventures along the way, then hit the red subscribe button while you're there too. I'd love to have you in our internet fam, and let's get into the 10 things. The first question is how to book a Minnie Van at Disney World. Now with this, all you will need to do is download the Lyft app to your phone, pull it up. Once you have it downloaded, create an account, and then it will start stepping you through the process of booking a Minnie Van from your current location. And so whether you're at a Disney resort or if you are at a park, it'll know exactly where you are, so it can help you kind of select those things, and then you input wherever your destination is, whether it be another resort, a different theme park, whatever it is. Put in that information, and then once all of your options pop up, most of the time the Minnie Vans will be right at the very tip top of that list, or if they don't automatically pop up at the top, you'll just need to scroll to the bottom. In my experience, they're there as well. Now when you're booking them, there are a few different options. So you have a standard Minnie Van, but then they also offer an accessible option. So if you have anyone with wheelchairs that's handicapped that needs that accessible type of van, you can also book those, which is a great option for those with mobility issues. Second question is, how quickly do the Minnie Vans arrive? And in our experience, once you have completed your booking process, they are there within 5 to 10 minutes. When we booked our very last one, it said it was going to be there in 10 minutes, and then as we were walking to our stop to be picked up, it changed to 5 minutes. So I would definitely be very close to the proximity of where you are going to be picked up when you book it, because they can definitely get there a bit faster. So that has been our experience. So I've seen others that they've had to wait maybe 20 minutes if it's a very busy time, but most of the time in our experience has been about that 5 to 10 minute window. And then the most popular question is, how much do Minnie Vans cost? Now with this one, they are a wide range. They usually start about $25 and go up from there. In our experience, we paid $31 and some change for our trip from Hollywood Studios to Disney Springs, which was our last one. And so that one cost us about $31. I think before they've been in the between $25 and $30 range. And that is for everybody. There's no additional fees for anything, no additional fees for car seats, none of that stuff. So it makes it super easy to book. So the price you see is the price you get. That's our experience with pricing. Next question is, how many people does a Minnie Van hold? And it will hold up to 6 different guests. Now that does include kids, anyone in a car seat, anything like that, that is included in that total of 6. So it does come with the car seats. So if you have 2 kids in car seats and then you have 4 adults, that's your 6. If you have anything more than that, you will need to book multiples. In my experience, you will need to book one, and then say your spouse or partner book another Minnie Van if you have a larger party. If you're traveling with extended family, it's a big girls trip, whatever that is, you'll need a couple of different ones, and you'll each need to book your own individual Minnie Van. Next question is, can you take a Minnie Van off property? And no, you cannot. You can request them while on property, but they can't take you off property, and you can't, if you're staying, say, at an off property resort, you can't request a Minnie Van pick you up and then take you somewhere on property. With the exception of their airport service, that though has not come back post-pandemic. Typically that was from the airport MCO to your Disney resort. So they could do that. And at that time it was $150 each way, so $300 total. But that is just the previous pricing. That service has not come back. When we were on our last trip, I did ask the driver if they had any ideas of when that would be coming back, and they don't know yet. So that is the only off-site option that they had previously for Minnie Vans. One nice thing though is if you're staying at, say, some of the Disney Springs resorts, any of the Hiltons, the B Resort, any of those over there, and I believe some of the new resorts at Flamingo Crossing, which I think there's a Drury over there, maybe a Hampton Inn, I believe. So there's a few different other hotels besides Disney, actual like Disney hotels and resorts. You can request them from there. We had no issue booking one at our Hilton Lake Buena Vista over by Disney Springs. They came and picked us up, took us over to Magic Kingdom, and that was super simple. So if that is an option that you're wanting to do, is you're staying at I want to call them Good Neighbor hotels, but that's a Disneyland thing. I forget what they're called for Disney World, but any of their Disney perked ones where you get the extra morning hours, things like that, any Disney perks that are associated with being one of those hotels, they usually will pick up there. So, and the best way to know is if you have the Lyft app, put in the name of that resort, and then you will be able to put in a destination, say Magic Kingdom, and then you can see and know exactly what they have to offer. But most of them do have that option. The next one is, do Minnie Vans come with car seats? And yes, they actually come with 2 of the Graco Forever car seats. And so these things are amazing. They can be rear facing, forward facing, and they can hold a baby as little as 4 pounds, like a little teeny tiny 4-pound baby, you guys, can fit in that car seat. And so it can range from them up to a pretty good sized toddler. And so that works out great. They can do, like I said, rear facing or forward facing. As far as the installation process, the cast members are literally trained on how to install these car seats. And so when they were doing it for our girls, we have had no questions about whether they were going to be safe. Literally, the cast members spent an entire day of their training taking classes and installing and learning and hands-on how to do these car seats. So I don't even think most parents take an 8-hour course on how to install their child's car seat, and yet these people do. So I had no question if my girls were absolutely safe. They allowed us, the drivers have allowed us to check them and just like be like, okay, can we like see what you did, how you installed it? No question, it was amazing, worked great. And so really trust that. They were nice new car seats. They did not seem worn out in any way. Like some of the ones like you get at a rental car, like you rent the car seat too, and they have been through 5 million different children and they look like 5 million different children have used them. You know how it is. If you're a parent, you know how that car seat gets. But they looked really nice, really good and clean, and I felt 100% comfortable with putting my girls into the car seats. Now, while they do install the car seat, you put your child in, you buckle them up, all that stuff. So that is great. And then you can pop your stroller or whatever you need in the back, and it works amazing. And then one last thing with the car seats is with the rear facing and forward facing, they do automatically start to turn it around when they know that your child is 2 years old. But if you do have a child that is within the weight limit of the car seat to be able to rear face, and you have the preference of them rear facing, you can 100% do that. You can request that when they're installing it. Just have to make sure they are in that weight limit parameters, because they're going to go by how the car seat manufacturer has labeled that car seat in the weight limits. So you can do a quick Google of that to already know in advance if your child is going to kind of fall within that parameters, or if they'll need to forward face. But that's just good information to know. And I know a lot of people, they have differing opinions on that of forward facing, rear facing. So wanted you guys to have an educated information on that and be able to know and be informed when you're taking a minivan. Number 7 is, can you schedule a minivan in advance? And sadly, you cannot do that. You have to pull up the app and book it right then and there within a few minutes of when you are going to need that ride. I wish you could do that, but sadly you cannot pre-book a minivan. Question number 8 is a minivan worth the cost? And to me, it 100% is if you are traveling with little ones that need car seats. For us, we have a 2.5-year-old and a 1-year-old now. And so with both of our girls, they are still very much car seat age. Bella is rear facing and Lucy is in that phase where she could rear face, she could forward face, but she still needs a car seat. And for me, for the comfort and knowing exactly that they are safe when getting into a vehicle like that, it is way more safe to me than an Uber or a Lyft option. And so I am 100% going to pick that hands down. I will say a lot of people do suggest Ubers and Lyfts, but if you have a little one under the age of 2, even in their car seat mode that they have on some of the apps there, even if they have a car seat, your child that is under 2 years old is not able to ride in that car seat according to their rules. I will have a link to both the Lyft website and the Uber website, and you can read that information for yourself, but your under 2-year-old should not be in those car seats. They are not rated for under 2 years old according to the website. And so that is just information to know. And so for the convenience of knowing that the person is trained and that they have the car seats and everything, to me, it's worth it, hands down. It's worth it. Number 9 is how much do you tip? Now, obviously the average tip is 20%. And so that is all discretionary, up to you. You can tip more, you can tip less. You can also either tip in cash or via the Lyft app. So once your ride is over, you can be able to add an additional tip onto that if that is your preference. So however you prefer to do that, then you have lots of options for tipping within the app. Number 10 is why not take a regular Lyft? And while yes, they are less expensive if you were just adults, then there's no problem, no issue. If there again, if you have little ones, the fact that they automatically come with car seats, to me, it's a no-brainer. And then again, if you also have a little one that is under the age of 2, taking a Minnie van is definitely a lot more worth it, because the drivers of the Lyft vehicles that even do have car seats do have the discretion of not taking you and your child if they're under that 2-year-old range. And so if you order it and they come and they're like, I don't feel comfortable taking you and your kid, I don't want that liability or whatever, then they can leave you on the curb. And so I would much rather just know that I am good to go when I book this thing, and it's not a hassle and it's not a stressor. Obviously everybody has to do and make the best decisions for their family, but for me, I would rather do a Minnie van, hands down, any day. And then 2 little bonus ones here at the end. One being, when should I use a Minnie van? Now these to me are great for resort dining. So if say you're staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge and you're needing to get to Riviera for your Topolino's reservation, or you need to get over to Wilderness Lodge for storybook dining, and so anything like that where you're needing to go from resort to resort and there's not a monorail that can take you, like if you're on the monorail loop or the Skyliner resorts, anything like that, these are absolutely amazing for that. Gets you from point A to point B without having to take a bus to a park, then to jump on another bus to go to the resort, or jump on the monorail or the Skyliner, and then just, it's a lot of steps basically. If you've ever experienced it, it's a lot of steps. This will get you directly from resort to resort because the buses won't do that. You cannot get on a bus and go from the Contemporary to Wilderness Lodge or vice versa. So none of that can be done. So these are essential to me for that, and I'm so grateful that they are back. And bonus tip number 2 is, where do the Minnie Vans pick up and drop off? If you are at the theme parks, each of the 4 theme parks, Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom, all at the bus area has a Minnie Van stop. So you can look at the big sign and find Minnie Van and which stop to go to there. And that is where they can pick you up and drop you off. Very convenient, easy to find. And so you can book it and they will come right there and drop you off. And then as well as if you are getting dropped off at a theme park, they will take you there for Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. Again, they'll take you to the bus stop, as well as at Magic Kingdom. That is a huge perk of this service versus a traditional Uber or a Lyft. With those, they have to drop you off at the Ticket and Transportation Center or the TTC. But if you are using the Minnie Van service, they will take you to the bus stop, which is way closer. It doesn't require you to jump on a monorail or a ferry boat to get to Magic Kingdom. So they are really shortening that distance. So if you are pressed for time and you want to get closer, Minnie Vans are going to be a really good bet for you as well. And then when it comes to being picked up at a Disney resort, most of them will just pick you up at the main lobby. So where you would pull up and unload your bags, get out, go into the resort to check in, that main area of the lobby, that's where you're going to be picked up. Or if it is at at a resort like Coronado Springs, Grand Floridian, even Saratoga Springs, they have like either convention areas or golf spaces there, and so they can pick you up at those. You'll just need to select that option when you are selecting your pickup and drop off location. So say you're going from Coronado Springs at the convention center and you're going over to Saratoga Springs to play golf, you can be able to select your pickup space as, instead of main lobby, the convention center, and then your drop-off location as the golf place. I forget what it's called there, but you'll see it on the app. Select those, and then that makes it really easy to get from point A to point B and saves a lot of time. I hope that answered any questions you have about taking a minivan, and especially with a baby or toddler. If you enjoyed the video, again, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button down below, as well as if you want some Disney magic coming through your subscription feed here on YouTube, be sure to hit the red subscribe button. Love to have you. But thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!